Welcome everyone to this free Vulval Pain Society webinar number 10 in a series where we ask the experts to answer your questions. I'm Sheren Gaulbert, Trustee of the Vulval Pain Society and Pain Science Educator. We've covered a number of areas and different modalities over the last 9 weeks. We'll be putting those videos up on YouTube soon, or you can email us at
info@vulvalpainsociety.org.uk
if you'd like to find out what we've covered or you'd like access to any of them sooner. Now, one of the top areas you wanted us to cover was pain self-management. And some of you took the chance to send some questions in when you registered, and all the others are going to be taken live today. So as usual, if you locate the Q&A box, you can click on that and type your questions in there. Kay Thomas from the VPS will be in the chat boxes as usual. So today, a man who is responsible for a number of pain self-management programs. You'll probably know him best for being the author of the Pain Toolkit, which was supported by the Department of Health and now used across the UK, across Europe, Australia, New Zealand. And he's also a presenter at the European Pain Federation Pain School. So welcome, Pete Moore.
Well, good afternoon to you, Sheren. Thanks very much for inviting me. I feel it's a bit of an honour, really. So I appreciate that. And good afternoon, everyone who's taking part in the webinar. Do you want me to kick off, Sheren? Or?
Yeah, thank you for joining us. And actually, before we launch into the questions, I just wanted to ask, how did you get into this area of pain self-management? If you could share a little bit with us.
Sure. I'll keep a long story short. Like most things in life, it's pretty much like by accident. But my two careers before I got into this stuff was I was be a paint and decorator and a drive instructor. And I think back in the early 90s, I used to have back pain quite regularly from teenage years. What else happening there? From the teenage years, but and I used to sort of manage it by taking over-the-counter medication and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I think my back gave out on me really. I was painting a house opposite Windsor Castle, and it was about the same time that Castle went up in smoke. But believe me, I had nothing to do with that. But as well, me and Rolty have got a bit in common, and I know my back was really sore that day. But when I drove home to Essex, where I lived from Windsor, I couldn't really get out of bed the next day. So I later found that I prolapsed 3 discs in my back, 2 in the middle, 2 in the lower. And so I did the usual stuff, going to see the GP and all this. But then I sort of got stuck in what I call it the medical model, where I sort of bounced around the system really, GP, physio, X-ray, MRI department, stuff like that. And so I went from this acute person with acute pain to subacute pain to long-term pain, and I got really down and depressed and stuff like that. And about the back end of '94, it was on my birthday, 31st of December. I don't know if you want to make a note of that in case you want to send me a card. But yeah, that night I just reached a low point really, and I was going to top myself, if I could see the future really. But that was, I suppose, my lowest point. But the next day I sort of looked in the mirror and I thought to myself, I recognised the bloke who's going to have to fix, not fix this stuff, but manage it or whatever, So I had to take some action really. So anyway, long story short, I thought myself, I always remember that saying, if you want to learn something, teach it. So I started up a back pain group, a support group, and like your one, it starts off small. And I thought it was going to start off small and grow big, but a little hut I hired for the evening down in Hornchurch. I think it could only really take about 15 people. All like 40 odd people turned up that night. They were so, I didn't realise that back pain was such a massive problem. So anyway, one of our early speakers was a lady called Amanda Williams from the Input Pain Management Program, and she talks about. See, Bobby, up till then, I was pretty much a doctor's shop or a therapy shop. I was looking around for who's going to take my pain away, you know. And
right.
But when Amanda started talking about, you know, how to pace yourself and all this other stuff that went on a pain management program, I thought this is for me. So I applied to go on the program in 90 or 94. I've gotten, like most things in the NHS, you have to wait. So I went on the program. It was in 96. Changed my life really. I really enjoyed it. It was giving me lifelong skills, as I found out, and I'm pleased to say since 97 I've not had to take any pain meds.
Brilliant.
And from there, really, I just sort of, I don't know, just become a bit of a habit, really, just telling people about how to self-manage pain. And then, you know, sort of got into it, and I've started, but say, if you said earlier on, I've written a few things, I wrote a few programs, and the pain toolkit came around through me writing a learning module for doctors in Germany. And that's where the idea come from, the toolkit of skills, and it all went on from there, really. And I did about 8 years in the NHS. I was a lead trainer on the expert patients program for pain, and but then I left there in 2008, and since then I've just been doing more of the pain toolkit, really. So most of the workshops I do, really, are mainly to healthcare professionals. Trying to get people to self-manage. You know, there's I think a lot of people are still searching for that. What's out there that can actually fix me? You know, and you know, I don't think, you know, in some, you know, sure, some people find something that really helps them and whatnot, but so really a lot. I do workshops for people with pain, all online stuff now, and but mainly I'm training up or give some extra skills to healthcare professionals. And really what I want to do today, if possible, is sort of show you a few slides.
Yes, please
So
do. And someone's asked, someone said, I'm not seeing Pete on full screen, only the welcome full screen. That's okay. That's because Pete's going to launch straight into the presentation now. So yeah, go for it, Pete.
Okay, cool. So all the latecomers, good afternoon to you. I'm just going to show you a few slides. Listen, I'm not going to get into too much. I'm not really going to talk about pain in itself, because you know, I think when you've had pain for what they say, once you've had pain longer than 3 months, it's other things sort of kick in, like, you know, that become a little bit more problematic than the pain itself. So really, I'm just going to share some ideas with you. And well, I'll tell you what. So this is my strap line, really. Is pain self-management your first choice or last result? And for a lot of people, not just people with vulvar pain or back pain, any sort of pain, it seems, and it ain't just the problem in the UK. It's the problem. It's a worldwide problem. Whether you talk to any Western sort of countries, just other people. I mean, I get a load of emails from people from all around the world, you know, from all corners of the world, really, and they're all struggling, you know, because they're looking for that little what can help me sort of thing, you know. And the thing is, because people get stuck in this thing called a medical model, where the doctors are trained up to do something to people or give someone self-management, where in actual fact self-management isn't on their curriculum when they're learning. So the thing I'm always trying to, you know, breadcrumbs sort of keep pushing them, really, is where they need to start introducing self-management, not as a last result, but as a first choice, like, you know, because at the end of the day, hey, look, it's not them living with their pain, it's us lot, you know. So it's about, and I think we have to get ourselves, you're going to hear me say this quite a lot today, get yourself back in the driving seat. Because when you're in the driving seat, Sheren, I'll just ask you a quick question. Do you drive a car?
I don't know.
Have you, if you don't, you've never driven a car?
Oh, no, I have. Yeah, no, I can drive it if need be, but no license.
Oh, wait, yeah, okay, don't worry. But when you're learning to drive, where did you sit, in the driving seat or passenger seat?
Yeah, driving seat, yeah, absolutely.
Why?
Well, to be in control. I don't want someone else driving it for me. Yeah.
But a lot of people with pain seat, we're taken out of the driving seat, put in the passenger seat, and of course, when you're a passenger seat, what do you learn? Very little. Let's move on. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about me in a minute on a slide. I'm not going to give you you've heard quite a bit about me already. I will show you a couple of videos a day. I hope you brought your popcorn with you, because you're going to be a couple of videos there, very short ones though, okay? So a little video there, how do we get stuck? How do we sort of get stuck in this pain business where we feel like we're just treading water, we ain't going anywhere? I'll talk about the 5 key things, pain self-management skills. Hey, listen, they're not mine. They're from people over the years, but people told me these are the 5 things that really help them get back in the driving seat, get back in control. Lastly, why do we need to be more resilient? Okay, how we need to sort of, it's not about tough it out, you know, and brave, put a stiff upper lip and stuff like that. I was going to talk about the importance of being more resilient, and then the last bit there, I'll come on to your questions if that's okay.
Fantastic. Okay.
So this is a little bit of me. It's one of my bikes. That's the beach, by the way, Sheren. I'm taking to Suffolk tomorrow. I live here. This is over in North East Essex, Misty Towers, and a lovely little river there. I don't go swimming in it, so keep calm. You heard me talk about patient thing. Yeah, I didn't work for 7 years. I cost the taxpayer about 350k. I didn't work for all them years. But I've been back at work since 2000. How many days do you think I've had off sick? Have a guess?
I don't know. Go on. None at all. 7 days, maybe? Or
0.
0.
I'm a self-manager.
Yeah.
That's what that program gave me. So that input program gave me the confidence and skills to get back in the driving seat and say, these are the things I do now. Work with Seaside University, we're looking at using how we can use virtual reality to lessen pain. That may be something that you guys may be interested in.
Yeah.
These are the things that I belong to. Go, let's get on to the movies. Okay, so get your popcorn out. Now, I want you to have a look at this short video, okay? And I want you to tell me, who did you recognise in the video?
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, I don't need this. I'm already late.
Somebody will come. Anybody out there?
Do you have a phone?
No. Sorry. Somebody! Hello? There are 2 people stuck on an escalator and we need help. Now, would somebody please do something? I don't believe this. You gotta be kidding me.
I'm gonna cry.
Well, there's enough left to do. So.
Hello. Hey, don't worry about it. I'll fix it in a second.
He said he can fix it. All right. All right. That's more like it. He says he can fix it.
So, question for everyone. Who did you recognise in the video? I won't be able to see who's chatting and stuff like that, so Sheren, you have to help me out.
Yeah, well, absolutely type in. Or you know, reflect on it yourself, you know, but do type in the box if you want to interact with us. Certainly it looks like people who are stuck, right, looking for help from elsewhere when ultimately they might want the tools themselves to walk up.
Is that how you can see it?
Yeah, we've got someone saying passive patients looking for solutions.
Yeah, well, in this video, it's very simple. It's when I first saw this, our GP showed this years ago up in the northeast, and I thought, my God, this is exactly how we are. What happens is we get stuck, and we just stay still. Get back in. We're in that driving seat. We ain't going to go anywhere. And then the healthcare professional, they get stuck as well because you know they've run out of tools in their toolkit. So there we are. They're stuck. We're stuck. And where are we going? We ain't going to go anywhere. So this is why Self-management. Self-management, in a nutshell, means taking action. Some people use, we need coping skills. Coping skills are no good to us whatsoever. Coping is really about getting by. But self-management is about taking action. So whether you're a healthcare professional or a person with pain living this, we need one of these. We need to put our business head on, put a thinking cap on. Now, so this is a nice little video from a friend of mine, one of the a healthcare professional from London, and it's about explaining pain. Okay, so I can show you this. Hopefully. Before I do, hang on a minute. Before I do, don't forget, I would like some. What was the take-home messages from the video?
Take-home messages from the past video. This one here, you want people to comment on.
This one here.
This is me. I could say that, you know, this bit is me as a mum and this bit's me as a teacher, but either way, here I am, and I'm actually really attached to me and very invested in me, and we've been together for quite a while, and this is pain. And first it comes like this, doing. I don't like that. I really don't like that. So I take it to a doctor or a nurse and I say, please, can you take away my pain? And they go, yeah, sure. There we go. Hang on, a little bit more. Or better now. Good as new. Yep, there's me. But the pain comes back sometimes. Lots of it. Dollops of it. And it starts affecting all of me. Because look, this is life happening. And after a while, the pain affects my work and me as a mum, me as a teacher, whatever. Here it is happening. Now this is me. I'm not as bright as I used to be. I can hardly recognize myself. I'm really not liking this. So I take it to the doctor and I say, please, can you take the pain away? And the doctor says, I can't. Now this is me, not right, not happy. And I think, what can I do? And I think, I'll add more to my life. Bits that have nothing to do with the pain, like all the things I do with the people I love and things I love doing. I'm going to really invest. I'm going to add dollops of the bits of me that aren't anything to do with the pain. And here is life happening. Now this is me. I'm not as bright as I used to be, and I'll probably never be as bright. But I'm brighter, and look, I'm bigger.
So, what's the take-home messages from the video? Anyone?
Yeah. So go ahead and type in, what do you think the take-home messages are from that video?
That's my neighbour knocking, by the way. I can't do nothing about that.
Got a response coming, live life anyway.
Yeah. I'm just
take your mind off the pain.
Yeah.
Make your pain a positive experience. This one, pain changes you, but you've got to adapt and live with it, perhaps learn to manage it better.
Great answers. Great answers.
Do things you enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, the thing is with pain, you know, it's like a bit of a, I call it a bit of a mischievous child. You know, you know, or an unwanted. I don't know if those of you are sort of maybe familiar with mindfulness or acceptance commitment therapy. That seems to be woven quite heavily now in pain management.
Yeah.
And like in acceptance commitment therapy, they talk about the unwanted passenger on your bus or in your life. You know, the thing is, like say for example, you're a bus driver and you want to pick up this noisy passenger, like, you know, and keep going, go faster, turn left, you know. The thing is, you can't throw this person off. You know, it's about, well, where do you put this person on the bus so that they're not disrupting the journey that well, you know. When I do this on the workshops, you know, a lot of people say, put him in the back, or some people put him on the roof, or say to him all the time, could be her. So it's about, and that's what I try to do, and that's what other self-managers do, is that we accept that pain is going to be a bit of an unwanted passenger in our life, but how are we going to put it somewhere else, back it up, put it somewhere where it's not disturbing us to the point that we can't get on and do things, like, you know. When I was terrible back in the early days, like, you know, because the thing is, see, I let pain become the centre of my universe, where I used to do things, I used to I can do list and a can't do list. Well, before by the time I got going to the pain management program, my can't do list was massive. You know, because I used to go to the movies. You know, well, I can't. Well, the last when I went to the movies, I couldn't sit. You know, it was really painful to sit. So I ticked that one up, but I can't do that one no more. You know, playing football or riding a bike or something. You know, even riding a push bike, because I thought that, you know, the vibration would be too much. So I just stopped doing things. You know, and what happens with pain? You know, it erodes our confidence. We become, for that confident person, to becoming an unconfident person. And what self-management does, if you get into it, and hopefully you do, it's about increasing our confidence. It's like, you know, when, you know, you push that bicycle for the first time, you know, where, you know, mum and dad, or mum and your dad holding the seat, and you're sort of pedaling along, and how am I doing, mum? Or dad, yeah, you're doing well. And then you're cycling along, all of a sudden you're, how am I doing? And you hear a voice in the distance, you're doing okay. You think, oh my God, oh, you know, you wobble a little bit, but then your confidence comes. You're thinking, well, actually, in fact, I'm cycling okay on my own. So, and it's like going back to when you was learning to drive, Sheren. It's like when you first start off, you're sitting in the car thinking, oh my God, you know, I hope I don't crash, you know, and all this sort of business. And you move off stop, you know, thinking, God, bloody hell, I'm driving a car. And then you see your confidence starts coming up. And it's exactly the same thing with how we self-manage our pain. It's about us becoming more confident that we're in charge and not the pain, not that just like that mischievous child. These are, does that make sense, Sheren?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Good job I'm here then, isn't it?
And we've got, you know, comments coming in, 2 great videos, thank you. Again, you know, messages from that video, you know, you're changed, but you can still be recognizable and grow. We need more research into pain and more ways of equipping us to live with it in the meantime.
We need more self-management.
Absolutely.
We need more listen, these are the 5 key things that people have told me over the years, and which I sort of do now. Goal setting. Goal setting is important. We have to set ourselves goals about the things that we're going to go back to, or perhaps and try out some new stuff. And it's all about moving forward, setting goals. There's the old saying, when I was a program I used when I was in the NHS, it said in there, if you don't know where you're going, it's unlikely you're going to get there.
Yeah.
So this is why we need to start setting goals.
Yeah.
So we set a goal. Okay, so your goal may be, well, I want to go to the restaurant with my partner. The last time you've done it, you think to yourself, well, this didn't go to plan and whatnot. but you think I want to go. So it's about your goal. So it's about action planning. So your action plans could be, well, perhaps I need to find a restaurant where I'm not going to be near the door. I'm not going to, my seat's not going to get kicked. It's perhaps I can be somewhere a little bit out of the way where I can get up and stand if I want to. So I feel a bit of discomfort, or I can go to the loo and have a bit of a stretch or whatever. So it's about we set our goals, but then we break those goals down into bite-sized pieces, and they're called action plans. Okay.
So important to have those bite-sized pieces so they're more manageable. So important to have those bite-sized pieces so that they're manageable. Yeah.
A goal. It's like you know, when the Arsenal play or any football team play, you've got to, you know, the goal is to get that ball into the net. If you didn't have a goal, it's like 22 dudes running around a football pitch for nothing, because they've got what are they aiming for, like, you know. So it's about, that's why we need to start thinking about setting goals, pacing our daily activities. Now, if you guys don't remember anything else about today, I really want you to remember pacing. Pacing, it's a very common term, but in pain management terms, it means something slightly different. Pacing, I also tell people, if you know a good tattooist, get them to tattoo the word pacing on your eyelids, because it's one thing we don't do. Pacing is taking a break before you think you need to. Because what a lot of us do with pain is we use our pain as a guide. So we're doing activity, and then we're thinking, oh, my pain's just starting to increase. I better stop. That is not managing pain. You're allowing the pain to dictate to you what you can do and what you can't do. So let's say, for example, you want to go walking. Let's say that, for example. So what you need to do first is find a baseline. So when you've got no pain there from the start, or less pain, and then you walk until you think then your pain starts or increases. So let's take it 100 meters. So your baseline is from there to there. I can walk, and at 100 meters, my pain starts to increase. So pacing is taking a break before we get to that end point where the pain starts. Okay? Chop everything in half. So you walk 50 meters, you take a break, and stand there. The ideal for this is window shopping or something. Go shopping. Have a little, just stand there, do a bit of window shopping, so you're not looking too conspicuous. Stuff like that. Or if you're always where I live up near Brinton, 12 miles away, but it's on the coast. They got seats every 100 meters, you know. But you see, I say to people, go up there, like the locals, like, go up there and just take a break every 100 meters. Okay. So what you do by chopping it in half and taking a break, you do, in fact, when you get to you stop at 50 meters, then carry on doing another 50 meters. You've now walked 100 meters, but guess what? Your pain hasn't increased because you took a break. Okay?
Yeah.
Think that like when you're driving that car, Sheren. You know, when you're driving your motor car, okay, you think to yourself, oh, you look at the petrol gauge, oh, I'm running out of fuel. So I better look around for a garage. I need to find somewhere to stop and refill. So you pull in, refill. You're pacing. You're taking a break before you get into problems. And this is what us lot do. Because us lot say we're black and white people. We're either full on or dead stop. Because we haven't got to that bit about pacing. And as I said earlier on, if you don't remember anything about today, remember pacing.
Yeah. We're
not very good problem solvers because we got into the habit where the doctor comes out of all the solutions. We've been switched off. These, by the way, these are all the things I teach in my workshop. So there's a little problem, I won't go for it now, but problem solving, I call it problem solving recipe. Keeping active, stretching, exercising. The physios now, they don't like to use the term stretching or exercising, but I'm a bit old school. So it's about keeping active. Exercise, stretching, exercising seems to be, it's not our enemy, it seems to be our buddy. I stretch and exercise every day. Listen, I'm not a skin dude. I'm a bit of an overweight dude. You know, I can still lose a couple of stone or whatnot. But I still stretch and exercise in the morning and throughout the day. And all while I'm doing that is keeping all my pain levels down. So the pain isn't, you know, tapping me, you know, annoying me or anything like that. So keeping active, stretching, exercising. The best thing for that is to find a physio who's well versed in pain self-management. Okay, believe it or not, all physios are not, they don't come out with jelly mold, but there are ones that specifically do stuff about pelvic pain. And our last one here is knowing what to do if something goes wrong. In other words, you have a setback plan. Because we're overachievers, we tend to do more than we have to. We're going to have a setback. You know, we try, see us lot, we want to try and keep up with everybody else. The thing is, everybody else works at a different speed, but we don't want to stand out from the crowd. So we want to be part of the crowd. The thing is, when we do that, the pains, we're going to always come a cropper, because they're other people's speed who haven't got our pain problems. They work at a different, so we're trying to keep up, and we'll have a setback. But if you've got a plan, like a spare wheel on a car, if you've got a plan, you're going to get back in the driving seat sooner than you if you didn't have a plan. Resilience.
1 second, Pete, just as you're on that slide, someone's asked, what was the problem solving one again?
Well, that one there, I can.
Yeah, the problem solving one.
Okay, who's got a problem? Sheren, give me a problem. You want more money? You want more money?
Yeah, go on. Let's do that one.
Problem. Okay, Sheren's got a problem. Got no money. Join the club. Okay. So the problem here is Sheren needs to earn, or not earn, or get more money. So what I would then do, I would ask people on the workshop, can you give some ideas to Sheren on how she can get more money? So they come up with some ideas around, you know, rob a bank, get a second job, do a budget, stuff like that. So people come up with ideas. Sheren doesn't come up with any ideas, but other people do. Okay. Then so we got our little list. Then I asked Sheren, I said, have a look at the list there, Sheren. Choose one of those from the list on what you would do to get more money. Oh, Pete, I want to rob a bank. Okay, so the thing you're choosing is that you want to rob a bank. All right. Now, if that solution didn't work out for you, in other words, you get captured, then what you need to do is go back to your list. All right. Okay. And the last part of the problem-solving recipe is accept that the problem you have may not be solvable now.
So there's that acceptance again.
Acceptance, massive word. It's used a lot in well, I think in life, but it's used a lot in healthcare as well. Does that answer that person's answer?
Yes, yes, it has. And I think the key word you use there is this might not be solvable now. And I think now is an important word. Yeah. In that. And someone says, I like the idea of pacing. Haven't heard this before. Thank you.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, let's get on to resilience, and I'm just getting on to them lovely questions. Okay, resilience. As I said earlier on, it's not a stiff upper lip. Hey, we're British, you know. It ain't about that. Resilience is about having some optimism. Self-belief. How many of you guys out there today have got self-belief? You can do this. Control of yourself. Keep in the driving seat. Willingness to adapt. Willingness to be flexible. Do you know what I find people so rigid. You know, it's like this way or no way. And I think you've got to be a bit more like the willow tree. You've got to bend a little bit. Always have like a plan B. Ability to solve problems. Emotional awareness. Social support. In the toolkit, there's two tools in there talking about teamwork. In other words, build a team around you. You know, I've very rarely met anybody that's managing their pain without any help or support. I think you do need the help of in your support team. There can be your healthcare professional, your family, friends, work colleagues, etc. But the thing is, it's not, they don't build a team for you. you build the team.
Yeah, you
You know?
select your
know what?
team. Yeah.
As you learn, as you get your confidence back, you're thinking, well, I've learned as much as I want off that person there. I need to transfer them out, and I need to bring someone else in, because it's about growing. Because as you're finding self-management at the moment, you're a little bit like that. Those that are struggling, but it's going to be, you're going to be like a bit like a flower where you open up. Okay. So it's about in my team mainly. I use I'm always around. Do you know I always like hanging around positive people, because I can get down as well, like, but I hang around. So I hang around them dudes because I'm getting fresh ideas from them, stimulating me and whatnot. Hey, sense of humour. Do you know why they call me the mushroom man?
No.
Because I'm a fun guy to be with.
Oh gosh. Oh, Pete.
I know, wicked, isn't it? This is a quote, I saw this years ago. It must be, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. This lady here, she's not with us anymore, Sarah Henderson. She was an Australian lady, works on a sheep farm or a cattle farm or one thing or another. But so this is a quote from her book. Don't wait for the light to appear at the end of the tunnel. Stride down there and light the bloody thing yourself. And that's about it, really. It's about us taking action. That's where I am at the moment. That's if you want to keep in contact. I was thinking if you guys want to do a workshop or something, I'll work out something for you.
That sounds wonderful. Yeah.
I've got to be honest with you, I've got to pay the bills, so it ain't going to be a free one, okay? But yeah, listen, I have to still pay the website guy. The thing, so it's as simple as that. I've got bills to pay as well. So, yeah. But I'll work out if there's interest there. Sheren, if they contact you, if there's interest, then we'll put something together. But I'll work out a rate for you.
And certainly, in the meantime, absolutely check out the website paintoolkit.org, because there's plenty of resources on there.
Shall we go to the question?
Yeah, should we go to the questions? So if people want to start typing in, and as you do, we'll get to some of the questions we've already got in. And actually, I think people want to see your face, Pete. So you stop sharing the screen so we can see you.
Done it. I'm gorgeous, baby. Look at that.
We can see your desktop at the moment, but not you.
Yeah.
And you've got a lot on your desktop.
I know, busy dude. Where the hell are we going here?
As you're sorting that out, if we just go to the first question, which is where do I start? So you've mentioned a few things there, goal setting, pacing, problem solving, keeping active, that, being in motion, having a setback plan. Where do you start with everything?
Listen, I'm not a multitasker. I'm not, hang on, just relax. And let's get rid of these bad boys. That's my new Paint Toolkit work thing I'm doing, new video. Here's the questions there. Hang on a second. Let's get rid of that. Right, sorry. I'm listening. I'm a bloke. Give me a break. What was the question again?
If you stop sharing your screen, then it will come up so that we can see your face.
I thought I'd had
stop share, I think, is probably. Can I see where it is on your screen? There a stop share somewhere. Can't help you. You're on a Mac, so there you go. You've done it. Yay! Woo! Brilliant, Pete. So, where do people start in terms of pain self-management?
Well, it's like anything. You start at the beginning, really. Find the thing is, it's. I think you need to, as I said earlier on, you need to find who's going to be in your team. Start thinking about setting goals. See, the thing is, there isn't a blueprint for this stuff. It's you've got to think where you are now. Self-management. A lot of people think self-management get going is, or it's like, oh my God, I've got this pain stuff, and now I've got to learn this stuff. The thing is, when you get into self-management, you don't think about. It's like another chore, really. It becomes a habit. Like brushing your gnashers, really, isn't it? You don't think, oh my God, I've got to brush my teeth again. You do it,
Mm.
because you don't want to see the dentist, like, you know, so it keeps your gnashes clean and whatnot, you know. So it becomes a habit. I don't wake up in the morning thinking, oh God, oh yeah, I've got to do my exercises. You know, I've got a little routine, and I do my exercises and stretches and stuff like that. And when the gyms are open, I'll go down there. I'm a bit of an early bird, like, you know. But I think you've got to start from where you want to be. But I would think about getting a coach. I think I'm not sure the doctors have got the time, but I know physiotherapists have, and perhaps OTs and people like that. It's about thinking about. But when you see these guys, these people, it's no good because they are a physio, they are an occupational therapist, they are this, that, and the other. Have they the thing? They're no good to you if they don't know about self-management. Because trust me, they don't get taught this stuff when they're in their schools. They get it's something they have to learn on the job. Well, you know, you don't want a plumber. Would you allow a plumber to come into your house who hasn't got an idea how to mend a burst pipe? You know, because they got plumber on the side of their van, sort of thing. So think about it's about doing a bit of research, you know, and finding out, asking friends. You know, I know you saw. Did they do? Listen, they are out there. I got into learning about pelvic pain. Not so much vulvar pain, but pelvic pain when I was in the NHS, because some of the trainers, they had like endometriosis and stuff like that. So that was my sort of learning curve on it. But then when I started doing Twitter and stuff like that, I bumped into these guys, the physios. They call themselves the pelvic pain mafia.
Yeah.
But they was all physios who have an interest in pelvic pain. So it's about finding the right person for you.
Yeah. Just gonna something come in here which I thought we might take. I can't sit for more than 10 minutes without pain. How can I go out anywhere socially? I'm looking at getting a standing desk for work, but going out for meals, cinema, pub, even just to go to people's houses. How can I start doing things like this?
Tricky one. I was a bit like that back in the day myself, really. I couldn't stand for too long. I lived in Romford at the time, and I remember this is where I started getting depressed, really. That I used to walk round to the, gingerly walk round to the supermarket, and I'd look into the supermarket, and there was a checkout. If there was a queue at the checkout, I used to have to go home because I knew I wouldn't be able to stand in line for too long, like, you know. I think I don't know if that person who. So the thing is, that's where they are at the moment. But when you start getting into self-management, I don't know if that person does any stretching, exercising, or anything like that. But when it just seems that for people with pain and pelvic pain, that when they start getting into doing stretching regular, keeping active, etc. Pacing, you say you can only sit for 10 minutes. You may need to get up and walk around. It's 5 minutes. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, and you were talking about those small chunks, weren't you? So if you think you can't sit for more than 10 minutes, it's kind of building that up really, really gradually. Those kind of small steps.
So look, self-management is like a cake. And to make it, I'll tell you what, you'd be very interested in such a Sheren. Of late, I've been making Weetabix tea cake. Right.
Okay.
But I was using, because I couldn't get any self-raising flour, so I started using another plain bread making flour. And of course, they were coming out like bread pudding, because I was using the wrong ingredients. But when I started to use the right ingredients, like self-raising flour, I had to do it. Put an egg in there, sugar, all that. They come out beautiful. And it's like self-management's a bit like that. It's using the right ingredients at the right measure, so that you got good outcomes. But you can't leave one out. You can't just. I mean, I used to go out with I used to live with a yoga teacher years ago, and she had no off switch. She would never pace herself. So she was quite a flexible lady, but because she didn't pace herself, she kept overdoing it, and the pain levels go up. So, but she was great at exercise and stuff like that. But because she didn't pace herself, you know, she had problems all the time. So it's about learning different things. So for that person there, I may need to learn a bit of pacing, a little bit of stretching exercising and stuff like that. Hey, listen, don't forget relaxation. One of the questions that was sent over about relaxation, something about tense muscles, you know, that's quite an important part to us, because tense muscles feel more, I'm only going by what I've heard at congresses and stuff like that, what physios say, that tense muscles feel more pain than not tense ones, you know.
Yeah, so you've got oxygen deprivation in the muscle, and yeah, I mean, there could be that cycle in some people of tension, pain, and someone's actually commented, I've got a standing desk at work, I'd highly recommend this. And again, of course, it's going to be individual to each person. With the pacing, is there any value in working out where your limits are so that you can stop and rest before you get to them? Or would you just start at a low level of exercise?
If you're around exercise, well, number one thing is, again, find the right physio to show you the right exercises that are right for you. And sometimes if you go to a gym, trainers, they got zero knowledge of pacing. I know that because I've been going to gyms for ages, and I've talked to trainers, and they have no knowledge. They think, oh, you're that age, you're that weight, so I want you to do so many repetitions, you know. Whatever they tell you, chop everything in half. So it's about, listen, it's about you getting back in the driving seat. You calling the shots, and it's not someone else really. But always start off at a low point and gradually build upwards. And especially when you've had a setback. I don't know, do you call them flare-ups?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the phrase
setback
itself isn't particularly helpful, is it? Because it puts something in your head. Setback.
That's what I call setbacks. And I had a bad setback back end of last year. I thought, what the hell have I done? But I was out. I didn't warm up. I was doing a new exercise down the gym with some of the equipment, but I hadn't warmed up my upper back, so the top back of my back got locked up, and it transferred all the way down to the lower back, and I was sort of out of action for about a week. But I was still doing my stretches and exercises, but I chopped everything in half. You know, I was using my setback plan, etc. You know, so but always start off slowly, step at a time. You know, see when you're doing it step at a time, you're not going backwards, you're going forward. So you'll get there. I think like the snail, you know, or the tortoise, tortoise and the hare, like, you know, you sort of take it nice and steady, build your confidence up. You'll get there. Listen, if I can do it, you can do it.
Great. For someone, type in, my vulval pain starts as soon as I sit down. Do I stand forever? But I have rheumatoid arthritis, which makes standing difficult. Tricky one.
About that.
Yeah. And look, one of the things that we will look at in future is graded motor imagery. So, and one of the parts of that is imagining doing it before doing it. And the imagination part of that is imagining it, a short excerpt several times a day. And you'll just be sitting for maybe 10 seconds in that imagined excerpt. And then after about a week or two, then you actually do it. But it's a slow, steady progress that way. But a good physio will take you through something like that. Let's see what else we have. So in terms of obstacles, because there's a number of questions about obstacles that have come up, what could be obstacles to pain self-management? And apart from the obstacles themselves, how do you maintain the effective use of those pain self-management tools?
Obstacles can be trying to keep up with everybody else. I believe it or not, if there's any healthcare professionals tuning in, it's not aimed at you, but healthcare professionals can be speed bumps, you know, because they don't know any better. Like, you know, they're not not that familiar with self-management. But I just call them life speed bumps, really. But see, problem solving, that's why you need to learn that problem solving, because that's the one that gets you over, gets around. Not so you don't have to hit the speed bump, you can actually go around it. It's like having a plan B. But you've got to put your business head on. You know, up until now, see, we're in that sort of medical model groove. But self-management, see, is a bigger. See, when you're in that medical model, it's very narrow. But when you get into self-management land, baby, it's massive. You know, there's so many different options out there. As I say, there isn't a blueprint for everything. But it's about what's going to work for you.
Absolutely, yeah, devising that personal blueprint in a way. And talking about the medical model, there's a couple of questions here which I think pertain to that. And the first one is pain normal in older people according to degenerative theory?
I've never heard of the degenerative theory. I'm an older person. Yeah, I am actually. I've become officially an older person the December before last. I still feel in my brain now. I'm still like I'm 30 odd. You know, it's really weird. But I can tell those my body's sort of as I become an older person. As I back in the day, I used to have back pain, and now I have osteoarthritis in my hands, my feet, my knees, and it is common in older people because I guess you know. I mean, I'm 66 now. And I think if I was trying to ride around in a 66-year-old van or bike, it's going to creak a little bit, you know. So it's had a bit of wear and tear over the years, and I would say I've looked after my body throughout the years. But the thing is, you know, it's very common as well for people to get pain in younger years as well. Like, you know, I remember there was one of the questions that you sent over about pain in the very younger people, like child.
Yeah.
There is, to my knowledge, there may be, I think there's one or two, but the only one that I know of, down in Bath, at the Royal Mineral Hospital, they have a pain management program specifically for younger people.
Where's that? Royal Hospital Bath, did you say?
Yeah, there's two hospitals in Bath. It's the Mineral Hospital.
Okay.
Yeah, if you Google pain management Bath, and there is one. I'm not sure how young or what ages they take them, but they'll have the expertise there about younger person's pain and stuff like that.
Certainly in terms of, you know, this person asking about degeneration, and when we look at the medical model, it used to be that we tied, you know, what we saw on a scan to how much pain people experience. We know there's no connection there. And, you know, you can take any group of people who are asymptomatic, in other words, not showing any symptoms, and you'll find a certain level of degeneration. So even in 20-year-olds, you know, you'll have some level of what you might call degeneration, and they won't experience symptoms. There was a study done back in 2015, and within the study, the group of asymptomatic people, 96% of 80-year-olds had some sort of what they term degeneration, and they weren't experiencing any symptoms of pain whatsoever. So there's no connection there between that. So I hope that answers the question. How about stress? How is it that stress increases pain so much?
Oh yeah. I know if I get a bit too stressed out, yeah, that can wind things up there. But you know, so they say there's good stress and dodgy stress, isn't there?
Yeah.
I can't tell the difference sometimes. When some people wind me up, I guess. But I think stress, I think, is just sort of it tightens the muscles, etc. I'll tell you, I've got a good. There's a lady called Dr. Sue Peacock. She's a psychologist, but she writes. I don't know if you come across her on Twitter.
Yeah.
She's really good at doing like sleep problems and stuff like that, stress. She's written a few books about it. That's the other thing I was going to mention as well. Is is when you see a healthcare professional, what tends to happen is they'll give you the leaflet, you know, and when I'm teaching healthcare professionals, I say you've got to take off your medical hat, put on your educational hat, and ask the person, how do they learn? Do they learn from reading, watching, through practice, or perhaps a combination of the two or three? Now the thing is where you've got to start speaking up for yourself, because when the doctor or healthcare professional gives you the leaflet, if you're not a reader, it's a complete and utter waste of time, because guess what? They'll end up in a bin. I remember when I got diagnosed with prostate cancer, the doctor said, "Hello, here I'm Mr. Morris. Give me must have been about nearly half an inch thick from the Royal Society of Urology. This will explain everything about prostate cancer." Well, I'm not a reader, I'm a watcher, but he never asked me. So, and guess what happened to the booklet he gave me? It was great firing up my wood burner. You know, it was a complete and utter waste of time, you know.
Yeah.
But this is it, see, and I like to learn. But see, lucky enough, see, because I've got that, I'm always looking, I can look around for information. I'm confident about doing it, asking things and whatnot. I've got the information that I needed, but in a format that my brain cells can do. But I read things, but I don't mainly learn from reading. I'm a watcher. I'm a video. I like learning, listening to people, having a go myself. So I learned, years ago when I was, I don't know, 8 or 9, people, kids at school playing chess. So I thought, but I learned playing chess through watching and asking. And it's the same thing with self-management. I'm always learning now. I don't know all the answers now. I like learning from other people because they got some really fantastic tips out there, you know. And I think what your organisation does, you know, how you meet up, how you swap ideas, etc. That's a fantastic way of learning. I think they're more likely to stay with people than being told, like, you know, because, you know, when we see the healthcare professional, we get that white coat syndrome, don't we? Where, you know, don't forget there's important. There's some videos on the website. I did some videos a couple of years ago with Dr. Tim, you know, about how to get the best out of your appointment. You know, so if you go on there, go into the resources. There's videos, there interviews there. You look at Dr. Tim, and you'll see there, and he's a GP, and he says, you know, when you're going to come to a doctor, don't come with me with like half a dozen bits and bobs like it. I mean, personally, if I've got to go and see the doctor, I'll give him a heads up. Or if I've got to see the oncologist, I would write to him and say, "Dear Dr. Kumar or Dr. whoever," or even a nurse down at the surgery, "I'm coming to see you next week. These are the things I'm going to be discussing with you." You know, it's about giving him a heads up so they can prepare. Because you know what, when we go and see the doctor puts his deer stalker on, he has to try and work out in 10 minutes what the hell's what's going on and what they're going to do about it, you know.
Yeah, so it's going prepared. Yeah. And with regards to the stress question, if you want to know any more about it, if you're watching now and you haven't watched the pain neurobiology webinar we did, so pain, the brain and calming the nervous system, if you watch that one, that will get into why stress increases pain so much. So that'll be the one to watch. Webinar number 4, I think it was. We were talking about children, supporting children with persistent pain. Someone said the hospital you're talking about used to be the Royal National Hospital for Rheumatic Diseases, the MIN. I think the building is sold now, but as far as I know, the program is still running. So the question here is, how do I explain persistent pain to my child?
Well, I haven't got any kids, so that's a tough one for me.
It's a tricky one.
How would I do it? You ever seen a video called "Understanding Pain in Less Than 5 Minutes"?
That's a good one. Yeah.
And the other one, if I forget, I'll make a note of it. I'll email it to you. There's a German organisation, a German hospital. They did one for teenagers called "Understanding Pain and What to Do About It in 10 Minutes."
One for teenagers, and you're going to send that over to us.
I'll
That'd
send
be
you a
brilliant.
link to that one. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
So there's that. It's explain it to you. I suppose teenagers, younger, really chill. Oh, there's one called. There's a lady on Twitter called the Monkey. I'll send you the details of. I can't think of her name off the top of my head, but she did a lot of. She was like a little toy, Monkey 2. Like Monkey goes to A&E. Monkey goes to see the doctor and stuff like that. But she does. I can't think of. Yeah, let me track it down. I'll put,
okay. And then we'll put that in the email that goes out with the replay, and put it in the replay itself. And someone says NOI group, Neuro Orthopedic Institute group, did a really good neuroscience nugget about learning styles this week. Actually, anything by NOI group is a good one to check out. NOI. And certainly the Explain Pain videos, Understanding Pain in 5 Minutes, Tame the Beast, all those short videos are brilliant ones to watch. There's a question here. I really struggle to accept my situation as it feels like giving up, but I realize I do need to find a way to acceptance, as basically I have no choice. I've fought it for so long. Any tips to get to a point of acceptance?
you know what? I always say to people, like, tool 1 in the toolkit is acceptance. Accept that you've got long-term pain, and then move on. But for acceptance, I always say, because people say to me, which is the most important tool in the toolkit, and it's tool 1 really, because I was thinking, if you're having challenges trying to get your head around that, I'm not saying that you can't do the other things in the toolkit and whatnot, but if you can't get your head around that one, the acceptance bit, you know, I think you're going to hit a lot of speed bumps. It's not. The thing is, it's not about giving up. Far from it. You know, I was brought up in Woolwich Street Market, you know, and it was a tough old upbringing, mate. You know, you know, I wasn't sure what to do sometimes. But I accept sometimes, you know, when I, you know, on the market, you have to work things out for yourself. But when it comes to managing pain, I was clueless, and I kept digging in all the time. There's got to be an answer out there. There's got to be someone out there who's going to fix this for me, you know. Until I suppose it just wore me down to a point where, so I was going to sort of harm myself, top myself and whatnot. And I thought, mate, I've got to sort this one out. You know, it's acceptance that there ain't no one out there. I'm looking at it. I'm looking in the mirror now at the person who's going to sort it out. You know, but I guarantee you, honestly, if you get over that speed bump, that acceptance business, boy, oh boy, mate, your world, mate. It won't be a roller coaster ride. It'll be like riding a Harley. I'll tell you, it'll be a ride of your life, and I'll tell you, you'll have so much fun. You know, meet wonderful people out there who are still struggling. And you know, that's the other thing. You know, with all the things that you learn about managing your pain, one of the most important things is that you don't keep that knowledge to yourself. You've got to keep passing it on. There's a little saying I learned years ago: to keep it, you've got to give it away. And whatever if you've learned a little simple way of how you manage your pain, then I guarantee you're going to meet other people out there who are struggling. And you know what? When you meet those people and you help them, you learn even more. You know, so it's a weird thing how that happens. Like, I don't know about you, Sheren, but you know, when you get into this game sort of thing, you talk to people and they give you little nuggets of little information, sort of thing. You know, can I just whiz back to the stress thing? I don't know if you.
Yeah, of course.
But a lot when I go on my bike, you know, I go on my. Why do I like that? I found because it's a de-stressor. Because it, you know, I pretty much do this stuff. I don't want to do it, but I have problems saying no to people still. But the pain world, I'm sort of in it pretty much not 24/7, but 7 days a week. But when I go on my bike, I have to think about other things. I have to think about, is that car going to pull out in front of me? Who's behind me? You know, do I look good? And stuff like that. But the thing is, but to me, to me that is my distressor. It's funny enough, I was doing a webinar the other week when someone was asking me questions, and I'd never realised it until they asked me. They said to me, "How much pain are you in when you're on your motorcycle?" And I said, "I'm not in any pain." But you know what? That's why you see me. Can you see me? I've been doing this a little bit because I'm sitting on something, but I'm sort of rearranging myself a little bit because normally I don't sit for this long. I get up and move around and whatnot. But when I'm on my bike, listen, I'm not riding for hours, but I have pacing breaks. I go and stop for a cappuccino or something like that. But to me, that's a de-stressor. People find gardening. I found gardening, making these Weetabix tea cakes. See, I'm not thinking about Sheren. I'm not thinking about pain and whatnot. I'm thinking about I was thinking about why didn't I use this flour in the first place? What recipes? What am I going to do to the tea cake next week to put some new ingredients in it? Like next week, I'm planning to put cherries in it. Like yesterday, I put ginger in it, fresh ginger, figs. You know what I mean? All those things are a little bit of distraction, and also de-stressors.
And what I'm hearing is that they're connected to your values. They're things that you value. They're important to you, and it's focus of attention on that value because it matters to you. It's not someone else has prescribed it. Go and make this Weetabix cake, or you've come up with that because it's important to you. And talking about focus of attention, whether it's distraction or getting absorbed in something that you love doing. We've got a question here. When the pain on sitting is so overwhelming, you can't concentrate on anything else, how do you start to overcome it?
Well, I don't see. I've moved on from that. Well, I don't sit for that length of time, so it's going to be a problem. So I always get up and move around before then. Yeah. But it
goes back to that pacing, doesn't it?
Yeah, you've got to do. Listen. When you first start playing, oh my God, I've got to put something on my phone to remind me to stop and do something else. But I'm not clock watching now, thinking, oh, I've got to sit and I've got to watch the clock and get up and move around at 2:30 or whatever. It just becomes a habit, and it's like brushing your teeth, as I said. But the thing is, it's a trade-off. For me, doing pacing, stretching, exercising, going up, all those little things. All the while I'm doing that, I don't have to take any pain meds. So it's a trade-off. I've got to find some time. Like people say, "Oh, Peter, I've got to do exercises in the morning." Well, it's just a matter of getting up half hour earlier. What do cats and dogs do when they wake up in the morning? You got a cat or a dog, Sheren?
I don't, but yes, I've got plenty of friends with them. Yeah, a good stretch. Yeah, a good stretch. Yeah.
So what cat back school they've been to? They learn that. It's a natural thing. What they're doing it for, in fact, most animals stretch when they get up, because they're preparing their body for movement.
Good.
Just simple stuff like that. It seems simple. I know I may sound like I'm a bit flippant, but honestly, I ain't a quick learner. I'll be honest with you. I'm not an academic. I think I passed my 11 plus, and that was about it. I'm just a painter, decorator, and a driving instructor, and that's it. But learning, I always find a struggle. But once I got into it and it became a habit, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it's making it habitual. And the thing that you said about, look, acceptance isn't about giving up. It's kind of being with what is. And if you want to explain that further, certainly either a cognitive behavioral therapist or a pain psychologist, someone who practices acceptance and commitment therapy, and we will have someone who will explore that in a future webinar, so that we go through that.
Can I read out what tool one is? Acceptance.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Yeah, great.
Acceptance is the first and most important tool in your pain self-management toolkit. Acceptance is not about giving up. It's about recognizing that you need to take more control and find how you can self-manage your pain better. acceptance is a bit like opening a door. A door that will open you into lots of self-management opportunities. The key you need to open that door isn't as large as you think. All you need to do is to be willing to use it and try to do things differently.
Brilliant.
But I think for a lot of people, it's for a lot of healthcare problems, acceptance, you know. But people with diabetes, they have to accept it, that they have to change their habits.
Right.
You know, they have to do their test every day and whatnot, eat differently, you know. So it's just a matter of we need to do things a little bit differently.
And I wonder whether we can finish up with a couple of questions here on fear, anticipation. So fear of pain. So for example, back pain has caused me to be ill with anxiety. Can you give any ideas how to overcome this? And then a related question for someone else. What have you found to be the most effective way of managing the anticipation of pain?
What's the first one?
Fear of pain. So fearing that pain has caused me to be ill with anxiety. Any ways of overcoming that?
I think learning something cognitive behavioural therapy, part of I think your each area now, or they have the things called the talking therapies, where they can talk it through with you about the anxiety of it all. Well, I'm just thinking back how I was. So I used to wake up in the morning. I didn't think it. Well, what's today? Friday. Every day melted into each other, and I say, how much pain will I be in today? But see, I had no structure, you know. And I'm sorry, I keep going back to the pain management program, but the program gave me something to build on. It gave me the foundations.
Yeah.
So that days didn't melt into, you know, it was, you know, got myself back in the driving seat. It took away that, how much of my pain am I going to be in today, to what the hell am I going to be doing, like, you know? I had a blank piece of paper in the end, but, you know, of opportunities that I could move on to. What do I want to do? As it ended up, I was, you know, I say up until then, see, I was my battle plan before pain was, I was actually going to a night school to learn Italian, because my battle plan was to move to Italy and marry some sort of signorina and cook pizza for the rest of my life. But I found out when I was learning Italian, I had to learn English first. So I really struggled with that. But it's you know what I mean. See, at the moment, a lot of people they're you know, that's pain, and it's like, and we're walking around that, you know, where pain becomes the centre of the universe, and it's about how we reduce that pain, so it's not the centre of the universe, that you actually become the centre of the universe, sort of thing, you know. What do you want to do? But you've got to take action. But you start off small, you know. It's not like it's like the old saying there. Well, you won't remember, Charles Atlas. It's like, dear Arnold Schwarzenegger, I've read your book, now send me the muscles. It ain't like that. It's something you've got to. It's something you need you need a plan. You know, like you get. You know, when you're going to go on holiday, or well, hang on a minute, it's run that one back. No one's going on holiday this year, but you know, if you was planning to go on holiday, you don't wake up in the morning thinking, "Yo, I think I'm going to shoot over to let's go to Greece." You know, you don't do things like that. What you do is you thinking, boy, you know, well, let's have a look here. Where do I fancy going? Yeah, oh yeah, Greece looks really nice. Okay, well, first thing I need to do is, perhaps, do I need to book the flights? Do I need to book the hotel? Where do I want to stay? Do I need to get some euros for Greece? What sort of money do they use? You know, is this hotel? So in other words, you're preparing just for that holiday, and it's the same thing with pain self-management. Well, what do I need? What tools do you need to start you off to self-manage your pain? They're not our tools, not Sheren's tools. there, what do you need to get you cracking? But once you start moving forward, just do it nice and slowly. It's not, listen, this isn't a sprint, this is a marathon. And I'm lucky enough that the skills and the tools that I learned back in '96 were lifelong skills. So they've helped me manage my newer health problems, like the arthritis and my PC, as I'm getting older through life. So then, instead of my arthritic joints being a massive problem, they're just an irritant, but I work around them.
Yeah. And so I'm hearing, have a structure, have a plan, and pain not being the center of your world. So you're kind of diminishing it and having a look at some of the things that you value. So just thinking of wrapping up here, and I know we've kind of run over, well, we've run way over, and people just saying thank you so much, another great session. So anything that you might, what would you wrap up with? A kind of a takeaway message.
If I can do it, you can do it.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Listen, I'll keep saying, listen, I'm nothing special. I'm just another dude. Okay? I've not been to medical. I hang around the doctors. Oh, that's the cat. I don't know if you heard the cat then. I look after a stray cat. I think she's having an argument with someone. A very big argument. Yeah, I'm nothing special. Yeah. I'm just someone that sort of got back pain, struggled. I found a way out. I looked in the mirror one day and I said, I recognised the dude who's going to help me self-manage. But I just kept asking people. I kept searching. What do you do to self-manage? That sounds really good. I've been really lucky, I met people over in Europe through going to conferences and stuff like that. But I still now asking, well, what do you do? What can I do? How can I adapt what they're doing to what I do? Is that any good to me? But as I say, if I can do it, you can do it. I'm nothing special. I haven't got one bit of academia between my ear rolls. It frightens the hell out of me.
I think we might keep that in in the edit. Okay. Listen, in terms of resources, I would suggest everyone looks at the toolkit, and it's paintoolkit.org, isn't it? Yeah.
I've just been revising them. I've only just put them on. I've got to revise them on Google Play, all digital. I'm trying to save the planet really with less paper. But I've just updated them, put them on iBooks. But they've all been revised. I put more videos in now, so you can hear me explain things a little bit more about how to work. You can see the interviews there I do with Dr. Tim and other people. So
brilliant. Tim, I was going to call you Tim. Pete,
I'll tell you what's on my horizon is I keep getting asked to do a toolkit, adapted toolkit for pelvic pain. So if anybody out there, I just need someone to help tweak what I do really. But if you're interested in that, as I say, you don't have to be an academic. But I need someone who's self-managing. So there'll be a little bit I've been working with a Canadian fella, Keith Meldrum. We've been adapting the toolkit for neuropathic pain. So within the toolkit, it's got what Pete says, what Keith says, and we've been doing tweaking lots of things about neuropathic pain. But people, one lady in Australia, she wanted me. She said she was going to do it, but I think she's doing something else now. But if that's on anybody's wants to get in, do that, then drop me a line. And also again, if you want to come on a workshop, drop Sheren a line, and we'll get together and work something out for you. And
brilliant.
They're about 2.5 hours long. Listen, they ain't going to be a sit and listen. They're very interactive. Good. Not raucous. We don't do raucous. But we it's interesting. I like to think, listen, I can't sit here and just and beat me gums for 2.5 hours. Very interactive, and that's what it's all about, because we all learn from each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks very much for inviting me along. I think
Thank you so much.
I think some of the questions you've been giving out today are awesome. Very, very common. I mean, I've got to get a lot of emails each day.
Right, and lots of people just kind of type in, thank you so much, really helpful, thank you, Pete, being very useful. I'm going to start the pacing immediately. Fantastic.
And if you still need some help with that, I'll type out a sheet and I'll send it over. Anybody, listen, pacing is the king. Right, if you don't get that, mate, you ain't gonna go very far. Look at that yoga teacher I was living with. You know, she's still struggling now. I mean, what I'm told anyway, like, you know. The pacing,
you're not stalking her, no.
Hang on, I'm still recovering, baby. I'll tell you what, it's been really nice, and thanks for making me welcome. And it's made me want to learn a bit more. I did ask one of my pelvic pain mafia people. I say, like, I'm doing this stuff, like, what should I be, you know, saying? I said, well, I don't know nothing about this sort of pain. But they said it's about teamwork. So it's like the physio, perhaps an OT, the gynecologist, and stuff like that. But don't forget, when you think like a football manager, you know, this time of year, you're thinking about, who do I need to transfer out of my team? Who do I need to bring in?
That's right. We talk about a multidisciplinary approach to this, but part of that is you as well. You're the key, you know, right there as the person in the center of all of that. You're the driver, so you're picking your team and self-managing at the same time. So as we wrap up, so before we go today, I've got a quick question to ask everyone who's still on the call. Vulval Pain Society conference was due to be held on the 24th of October in London. And of course, with everything that's gone on, we're kind of wondering whether you might attend or not. And so I'm just launching a poll to work out, look, if we do an in-person conference, would you attend? Yes, no, maybe, or would you rather attend a online, say, half-day conference? So I'll just let those results come in. If you're watching the replay, obviously just let us know, and then we'll have a better idea. And, you know, our conference is, you know, there for health professionals and for patients and, you know, women with pain. Any partners can come along, and it's a really nice day out. But I understand in the current climate that, you know, people may not want to do something face to face, and we may take it online this year. So as that comes in, next week we're going to be taking a break from our webinars. But the good news is you'll soon have a way of accessing all 10 of the webinars in this Ask the Expert series. Whilst we're waiting for our shiny new website, which is going to take a little bit longer, we're going to put those webinars up on our YouTube channel, which is launching really soon. So if you keep an eye on our social media pages, on Facebook, facebook.com/Vulval Pain Society, on Twitter @VulvalPainVPS, or keep an eye on our website,
vulvalpainsociety.org.uk.
Not a shiny one just yet, but soon, but we're still updating it. So if you keep an eye on those, you'll find out when our next webinar is, our next Q&As, and when the existing webinars we've had are going up on YouTube. And I'd also encourage you to catch up with any webinars you may have missed, but also re-watch, because on a second viewing, you may find you pick up even more and, you know, make some notes, and things might sink in a little bit better. So tomorrow you'll be sent a link to the replay from today. So the results are in from the people who are watching at the moment. Only one person has said yes, have it in person. No, says 2 people, maybe 2 people, but 78% of you would rather attend an online half-day conference. And if that's the same kind of response we gauge from those of you watching the replay, then that's what we'll end up doing, and we'll have an in-person conference next year instead. So look, thanks again to all of you for donations that come in that make enable us to help you better and keep, the free resources going and do all the stuff in the background that, make things flow easier, and the new website and all of that. There'll be a donation link that comes up at the bottom of the page for those of you watching the replay, and then after this webinar you'll have a page coming up. If you make any small donation, really helps us help you better. So thank you again, and we will see you in probably a couple of weeks for our next webinar. We've got, lots of great things coming up, acceptance and commitment therapy, looking at the gut microbiome, and in the meantime, check out the webinars we've already done. So thank you again to Pete. And thank you all for watching, and see you next time. Bye for now. Bye-bye.
Take care, guys. Have a good weekend. Fish and chip night. Don't forget. Take care. Ciao.
Bye-bye.